Did you know that in Greek myth there was a goddess of sorcery who turned men into pigs? Hello and welcome to World History Encyclopedia. My name is Kelly and today's video is all about the sorceress in Homer's Odyssey who turns men into pigs. Today we're looking at the ancient Greek sorceress, Circe. Don't forget, the easiest way to support us is by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and hitting that bell icon for notifications. World History Encyclopedia is a non-profit organisation and you can find us on Patreon, a brilliant site where you can support our work and receive exclusive benefits in return. Your support helps us create videos twice a week, so make sure to check it out via the pop-up in the top corner of the screen or via the Patreon link down below. Circe was a beautiful and powerful sorceress and the daughter of the sun god Helios and the Oceanid nymph Perseis. Her siblings are commonly noted as Aeetes, who became the king of Colchis, and Pasiphae, who became the queen of Crete and wife of King Minos. In some versions, Circe is also the aunt of Medea, a powerful sorceress who famously aided Jason in his quest for the Golden Fleece using her magic. Circe was the goddess of sorcery and lived on the mythical wooded island of Aeaea that was guarded by the men she had transformed into lions and wolves. She was particularly skilled in transmutation, as seen in the myths featuring her most famously with Odysseus and his men on their journey back from Troy. She could use her voice to bewitch men and was also skilled in magical drugs and in working the loom, symbolic of her powers of transformation. She was brought to live on the island of Aeaea on her father's sun chariot, after perhaps killing her husband, but she was visited by many in various Greek myths, including Jason and Medea. Circe is described by Homer as a fearsome but beautiful goddess, and he gives her the epithet polypharmakos, which means knowing many drugs and charms. Circe was also worshipped in the ancient world, and was said to have had a shrine dedicated to her on one of the Pharmakousai Islands. Let's start off with probably the most famous myth featuring Circe from Homer's Odyssey. By the time Odysseus and his men come to shore on the island of Aeaea, they are the only ship left of the group under Odysseus's command, and they are utterly exhausted. Odysseus sends out a scouting party who eventually reach Circe's palace, which they find surrounded by lions and wolves. The men become enchanted by the sorceress's voice, which they could hear coming from inside the palace, welcoming them, and they were not even worried by the wild animals they had to pass to enter. Only Odysseus's second-in-command, Eurylochus, stayed outside. Once inside her home, the group of men sat at Circe's table, ate her food, and drank her wine, and had no idea that she had slipped them one of her magical concoctions, which transformed them all into pigs. From outside, Eurylochus watched his comrades turn into swine, and then ran off to tell Odysseus. Odysseus asked to be taken to Circe's home, but in fear, Eurylochus refused. Without a guide, Odysseus headed off into the depths of the wooded island in search of Circe and his men-turned-pigs. But on his way, he came across another divine being, Hermes, the messenger to the gods, offered Odysseus help in the form of a magic herb that would keep Odysseus from turning into a pig like his fellow men. So, when Odysseus came across the home of Circe, ate her food and drank her wine, Circe was confused as to why her magic didn't work. Odysseus used Circe's confusion to his advantage and rushed towards her wielding a knife, threatening to kill her. Circe quickly told him that she had heard of him, flattering him by mentioning his great fame, and that instead of killing her, he should warm her bed. After promising not to harm him, the sorceress changed the snorting swine back into men, and while Odysseus became Circe's lover, they all stayed on Aeaea for a year, feasting and drinking. After the year passed, the men realized they had dallied long enough, and convinced Odysseus that it was time to leave. Odysseus asked Circe to help them in their travels, and she agreed to, but said that before she could, he would have to visit Hades, the Greek underworld, and consult the blind seer Tiresias. After visiting Hades as per Circe's instruction, Odysseus returned to Aeaea, where the sorceress warned them that to get to Ithaca, they had to sail past the deadly sirens who lured ships onto the rocks. But they needn't worry, she said, because she knew how they could pass by safely. And with that, Circe bid them farewell and sent Odysseus and his men off on favourable winds. In some sources, Circe and Odysseus had 3 children, Telegonus, Agrias, and Latinus, although in other sources, their relationship only resulted in their son, Telegonus. In the now lost work, the Telegony, known only through references by later writers, Circe tells her son who his father is, and Telegonus unknowingly kills Odysseus while searching for him. Circe is featured in many other stories, including those of the famous ship Argo, the Argonauts Jason and Medea. After Medea killed her younger brother Aspetos in an attempt to get away from her father, who was chasing the Argo on the seas, the Argonauts were warned by the ship's magical talking beam, added to the ship by Athena, that they were fated to wander aimlessly across the seas until they were relieved of their collective guilt by Circe. Before the Argonauts arrived at Aeaea, Circe had a dream full of blood and fire, filling her with a sense of dread, and her fears only increased when the Argonauts arrived. Circe allowed Medea and Jason to join her in her home, and the couple sat at the hearth as supplicants and would not look her in the eye. Circe recognized Medea as sharing her blood, since Medea was Aeetes' daughter, and so Circe absolved the young pair of their sins by purifying them in both pure water, sea water, and the blood of a young sow. Although she purified the pair, she refused to offer any further hospitality, as the sorceress didn't approve of their actions, nor their flight from Medea's father. In some versions of the tale, Circe refuses to help them after she learns of the murder of Aspetus. Another tale that includes Circe transforming someone into something else is the story of the sea monster Scylla, as told in Ovid's Metamorphoses. After the sea god Glaucus was rejected by Scylla, a beautiful sea nymph, in his rage he begged Circe to make him a potion that would make the nymph fall in love with him. Circe, though, had another plan. Circe told the god that instead of pursuing someone who didn't want him, he could instead have a goddess born of the sun god Helios, namely herself. Glaucus, though, unwisely turned her down, saying that he couldn't love anyone else as long as Scylla was alive. Circe was hurt and angry by Glaucus's rejection, but instead of taking it out on him because she still loved him, she turned her anger towards the nymph instead. Dressed in a sea blue cloak, Circe brought a special potion to the sea pool where Scylla liked to bathe. She poured it in the water and spoke her spell aloud. When Scylla later arrived at her pool and waded into its depths, she felt her legs swiftly transformed into rabid dogs as the rest of her turned into a monster. Glaucus wept for his beloved, and Scylla, in her hatred for Circe, took her anger out on passing ships, later attacking Odysseus and his men as they sailed by her. Circe had a long life in Greek and then Roman literature, after the Odyssey, appearing in works now lost, such as the Telegony and a play by Aeschylus, as well as Virgil's Aeneid and Plutarch's Moralia. She became a popular subject for artists in ancient Greece and Rome, and is thought to have inspired many similar characters in world literature up to the present day. Why do you think Circe was such a popular character? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our new videos every Tuesday and Friday. This video was brought to you by World History Encyclopedia. For more great articles and interactive content, head to our website via the link below. If you like my sweater, you can find this design and a bunch more in our shop at worldhistory.store, or you can find a link for it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon with another video.